All right, so welcome, friends. Grab 2 blocks, a cushion and a bolster, or something like that at home, rolled up towel or blanket. Let's begin on our backs. Bend your knees, roll the spine all the way down, press in the heels, get a little bit more length, and then keep the knees bent. Bring your palms to your belly. Let your breath begin to fill your palms. If it feels safe, you can close your eyes. Sink the shoulders, drop the weight of your head, and just observe the heaviness of your hips. Begin to listen to the sound of your breath, engaging artfully with it, observing the rise and fall of your belly within your palms. Take a cleansing breath in. Heel to the feet nice and wide. If you're a little taller, the feet might be off. Take the arms open. Slowly windshield wiper knees to the right. Lengthen through the left side. Inhale, center. Exhale to your left. Just be mindful of the angle of your knee, maybe even engaging flexion in the foot. Cycle with your breath. Don't chase it, don't rush it. The next time both knees fall to the right, just drop them. Try to have this left knee pointing down from this left hip. Lengthen the sit bones. Begin to feel a tipping action of this left hip crease. Option to stay here, or if you want a little more juice, you can cross the right ankle up and over the left thigh, as long as that doesn't pull on the knee. If it does, you just remove it, and then rest down, feeling the outer edge of the right foot, the heaviness of the inner edge on the left foot. Always observing breath, even when you forget to. Just reassuring yourself that it will happen regardless to whether or not we are paying attention to it. That was a hard sentence to get out today. Inhale, lift the knees. Exhale, knees left. Really lengthen through the right kneecap. Feel a little hiking up action of the right hip. As long as you stay long in that side body, ribs are still hugging in. Observe the slight ballooning effect of your rib cage and your lungs. Feel free to find that heel hook on the left. Again, if that torques the right knee, you just release it. One more cycle of breath. Gently unhook the left. Lift the knees up. Heel to the feet back in until they're about 2 fist distance apart. Reset your lower back and hips. Even dig a little bit more length in the upper back. And let's hug the right knee in. Compress the right knee into the right shoulder. Make sure the right hip's not hiking up. Drop the shoulders, open the chest. Big belly breath. Feel that compression. Exhale, knee in. Inhale, pull right knee towards the left shoulder, creating that bilateral movement. Exhale, wing it wide. like you're stirring the femur head around in the hip. Hug the right knee into your left shoulder. Continue to dig this right hip long. You almost want to feel like there's a winging out action of that outer hip. One more breath. Take that knee into a big circle. Good. Cross right ankle over left thigh. Now let's just stay here prepping. Right palm to right thigh. Let's press the thigh bone away. I'm still flexing the left foot. And by left foot, I mean the right, obviously. So as the right toes flex into the right knee, just holding the ligature around that knee. Let's open up the left arm, take up space. Lengthen the tailbone. Feel the slight inner contraction between the hip bones from the navel to the pubis, just to help stabilize the pelvis a little bit more. You want to feel that neutral lower back wrap around the waistline. Last breath. Gently plant the right foot. Reset hips lower back as needed. Left knee to chest. Compress in. As you inhale, push the left sit bone long. As you exhale, contract the knee to the shoulder. Feel that slight compression, that constriction to the left hip flexor. Embrace all that squish, all that juice in there. Try to keep a neutral lower back. And as you soften the back of the heart, feel a slight lengthening to the neck and even the back of the skull. Begin to inhale, wing the left knee towards the right shoulder. Keep the left hip long, and then wing it wide. Let breath intuitively guide you in and around sensation. I want you to really tap into what feels good for you. The next time the left knee comes to the right shoulder, contract it in. Push the tailbone long. Now, if there's any pinching to the inner thigh, just lessen the range of motion. Let the belly balloon up to that thigh. I even like to half hood the eyelids, really ironing out the creases around them. And then bringing the inner awareness to the space between your brows. The second you bring that inner awareness right there, tends to calm the mind. Last breath here. Big circle of that left knee wide. Pull it wide and then allow that left ankle to cross. Figure four shape. Flex the foot. Feel the toes fan and engage back to the left knee. And then left palm to left thigh, not the knee. Really lengthen and press some energy into that thigh. Allow it to press away from your body. I'm going to branch that right arm open. Last 5 breaths. Don't rush them, don't hurry them. Plant the left foot. Good. Grab one or both thighs. You're gonna rock and roll up and down until you're onto your seat. Pull the heart up to the knees, create a flat back. Hands are gonna plant behind you any way that's comfortable, away or facing. Take your feet wider than the edges of the mat. Nice and slow, you're going to windshield wiper the knees, side to side. Feel that rock and roll through the glutes to the outer pelvis. The next time that the knees fall to the right, we're going to relax them there. Keep the toes flexed, and then come to sit up on that right hip, and then begin to walk and reach out past the right thigh. Maybe both hands walk, creepy crawl out. Inhale, chest comes forward a little bit longer. Exhale, belly softens. Keep firming the outer right shin down. Keep retracting right hip back. Now, as much as you are lengthening the waistline, can we humble the shoulders? Maybe even soften the corners of the mouth. Inhale, rise. Begin to rotate back to face the short edge of your mat. Flex the feet, rotate, roll on the feet until you face the left. Lift, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, flexing toes. Hinge, walk your hands towards or past that left knee. Good, really pull the right rib towards the kneecap, if not further past it. You can use your hands to traction and drag your chest more forward. Really feel the hip burrow into the ground. Allow your breath to molten the shape just a little bit more. Slow rise. Good. I'm going to invite you to take the heels out nice and wide. Plant the hands behind you. Have the knees and toes point up to the ceiling. And the hands behind you, rock forward on the sit bones. Move the rib cage forward and up. And then exhale, begin to lean your chest forward any amount that you feel sensation through the inner thighs, the adductors, the groin. Really fan the toes, energize through the distal nerves. And notice if the neck is catching any tension, right? As we begin to flex and engage through parts of our body, those kinetic chains are going to flow through and send messages to activate and captivate spaces of sensation. A beautiful kinetic energy shifting from side to side, up and down. One more breath. And as you rock back, slowly bring the legs closer together. Press your calves down, engage your toes up. And I like to even wiggle and move the flesh, the sit bones, until you can rock more forward on the sit bones, right? Less on the tailbone, on the sit bones. Hands are just going to crawl down the thighs as the heart leans forward. Now inhale, really pull some length in the spine, shoulders down and back, head high. And then exhale, soften your upper back, maybe a slight rounding. Right, you want to think about getting longer in the spine. Keep engaging and pressing the heels down as if you could get longer, even further past where your limbs end. I like to open the palms as an act of giving and receiving energy. And you can still have the hands behind you pressing. I just want you to meet yourself where you're at tonight. Two more breaths. Slow rise. Sigh it out. Slowly bend your left knee. Stay tall in the spine. Feel the sit bones root as you engage up the crown. And then pick up the sole of the left foot to land to the outer right thigh. Equal weight between both cheeks. Rock forward on the tailbone and wrap the right arm around. And then instead of going for a twist, I want you to go for a big bilateral cuddle. Pulling the heart towards the knee, crown high. Let your belly compress into the thigh. Just coming to a seated variation of that bilateral movement. Last breath. And soften. Extend the left. Root tall. And bend the right. Pulling the heart to the knee. Make sure we're not bowing back. You want to stay sitting forward, even if we need to place a blanket under our sit bones to tilt the pelvis. Wrap your left arm around the shin. Pull the heart to the shin. Pull the knee to the opposite shoulder. Keep equal weight between the sit bones. And then as you sigh, feel that inner contraction hug in just a little tighter, as if you're trying to juice a lemon between your knee and your chest. Embracing that inner squeeze. Last breath. And let go. Beautiful. Take the heels wide to the corners of the mat. Bend into the right knee. Place the sole of the right foot to the inner left thigh. Now, this is a great place to grab your blocks. Maybe your gray block or your brick block, a pillow, a blanket. I like to place that gray block underneath my knee just to bring the ground up to hold and support. Really lift and lengthen through the spine. Pull the right rib towards the left pinky toe, and then slow bow as you trace the hands, just gliding them around the outer leg, folding any amount into Janu Shishasana. Right, so it translates into head to knee pose, but I like to think of it more as head to toe pose. So we can really gain that length through the erector spinae, through the QL, getting into that lower back goodness. So really think about elongating out of the waistline. If you're willing to progress, you can reach the right hand for the outer left foot. Moving your ribcage more forward. With the exhale, bow your heart towards the ankle. If that's not enough, you can take a block, place it to the outside, and compress in. If the hands are nowhere near the foot, use a strap, and then tether up here by pulling the elbows to the hips, moving the chest forward. Good. 3 more breaths. Inhale, rise. Extend the right to the corner of the mat. Bend the left. Support the left as needed. And then rooting tall to the sit bones. Really rotate the left rib towards the right pinky toe. And then staying long in the side bodies, begin to hinge and slide and glide, almost like you're diving to the outer shin. Good, with a flat back as best as you can, even if that means we're not bowing as far forward. Then inhale swells the lower back. Exhale softens the belly. Let that take you a little deeper. Wherever you're at, can you turn the corners of your mouth up ever so slightly? Just easing any tension through the face, right? Because if there's tension in the face, there's tension in the mind. Maybe going for that reach if it's available. You almost want to feel like the heart is beginning to stack over the knee. I love a good humming exhale. you've incorporated that into your practice yet, you probably will soon, especially after this. Humming is so cathartic for the nervous system. If you think about it, in utero, we would get hummed to as little fetuses. Good. 3 more breaths. Inhale, extends. Exhale, surrenders. Slow rise. Extend both legs. Bring your brick blocks close by, or your books or pillows. Grab your bolster, your rolled up towel. This can be at any angle behind your sit bones. I'm going to ask you to bend the knees and slowly roll down the bolster, coming into supported fish. Now the blocks are going to be there to catch your thighs, making this really restorative. Take the soles of the feet together, the knees wide, and then just the point where you feel the knees bounce out, almost like they couldn't go any further, just tuck the blocks in there so the inner thighs can rest. And then really lengthen the chest, upper spine, lengthen neck and head, tuck shoulder blades under, and bow yourself back. As you broaden through the heart space, inhale, belly rises to the roof. Empty lungs, belly relaxes to spine. Now this bolster can be at an angle if this is too much extension on the lower back. You can place a block or another blanket underneath it just to lift it up like a ramp. Take the next few breaths to really surrender in here. Get weighty through your pelvis. Get light and airy through the toes. Even feel a humbling to the heart center. Allow the fingertips to curl in gently. And just drop the forearms. Begin to observe that inner yielding, that inner quiet, that small speck of stillness that you have created between each breath and each thought. As we release ego and show up as our truest self, we begin to reconnect mind, body, and spirit. As we stay united in that holistic unit, we begin to vibrate and show up as our truest selves. We let go of any illusions or trances that tell us otherwise. And with each breath, we anchor in presence. I'd love to close out here, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me. From my heart to yours. Namaste.